Listen, I want to say first, I thank you very much for this opportunity to talk with you, and I regard the present situation as extremely dangerous, because what the United States government, my own government, is trying to do with NATO these days is to use NATO as simply one more weapon in the U.S. effort to expand its empire globally, and I think that is a serious flaw in U.S. foreign policy right now, and I want to do everything I can to get my own government, the United States, to stop trying to expand NATO into new places in the world. It just is totally unnecessary and extraordinarily dangerous.
Do you think that anything could be done to actually improve relations between the West and Russia now?
You know, I don't know. I have a feeling that machismo, I guess you know that word. I have a feeling that machismo on the part of U.S. leaders, at any rate, possibly also on the part of the leaders of Russia too, this question of machismo and nobody wanting to make any compromises is extraordinarily dangerous in this world where both sides have massive numbers of nuclear weapons, and terribly, terribly bad things can happen. You know, when World War I, way back to the beginning of World War I started, there was a whole month when the leaders on all sides had so much machismo that everybody refused to compromise, and the situation simply got worse and worse and finally resulted in a war. I am afraid that the same thing can happen today, and I think that on all sides we should do everything we can to avoid that, including on the side of my own government of the United States of America. We've got to get rid of this machismo, which makes it impossible for the George W. Bush administration, apparently, to make any compromises.
So, Christison, speaking of compromises, what can Georgia do now to try and recover its breakaway regions?
You know, I don't know. I don't know what Georgia will do. I think what Georgia has done is very dangerous. Obviously, the government of Georgia assumed that the United States would support it, and I don't know to what degree the United States government or the government of Israel, which is a very close partner of the United States, but also has a lot of economic and military interests in Georgia today, I simply don't know to what extent these two governments of the United States and Israel themselves encouraged Georgia to act as it did. But I do think the situation has these unanswered dangers that every one of us on both sides simply must be very careful not to inflame any further.